Kateryn Parr finds herself in the most disastrous position as the novel opens. She's just survived a long marriage with a much older man, which produced no children of her own. She was obviously a very good wife to him. She kept his castle, she raised his children, and she maintained his lands and his position in the north when he was actually disgraced. I would imagine she was looking forward to a fairly prosperous widowhood, and she was falling in love with Thomas Seymour. We know that they were in love because their relationship continues after her marriage to Henry VIII very, very rapidly. So clearly they were seeing each other, and they were probably promised to each other, they were probably betrothed to marry. And then she takes the eye of Henry VIII. She's a very, very beautiful woman. She's also a very, you'd say now, classy woman. She's got a lot of style. She dresses absolutely beautifully, and as well, the bit that's so neglected is she's an extraordinary, a towering intellectual. She's a real scholar, and Henry falls in love with her in the rather ridiculous way that Henry does, often with very unsuitable people. It happens she is wonderfully suitable and everybody really likes her, and so he marries her, and it's impossible for her to refuse. It's the King of England, he's a complete tyrant. He tells her he wants to marry her. Whether she wants Thomas Seymour, whether she wanted a life of her own, she has to marry him. So I called it The Taming of the Queen, in a sense as a tribute to a woman who lived with a tyrant in his court and in his bed and came out completely unbowed. I think the tragedy of Kateryn Parr is that she doesn't, in a sense, leave a legacy except for people who really go and look for it. She's come down to us in history as the last wife, married to a king who was failing in health and power. So we don't really know that much about her. I mean, one of the things that the novel might do is bring to people's attention what an incredibly interesting woman she was. She was the first woman to publish in English as we speak it today. She didn't write in Old English, she wrote in Shakespeare's English. So she's an extraordinary contributor to the culture of the country. She's an extraordinary contributor to the history of women because she's the first woman to publish under her own name in England. That's such an achievement. Her other legacy, which has not been acknowledged at all, is actually Elizabeth I. I don't believe that we would have a queen like Elizabeth I if she hadn't had the opportunity to see her stepmother ruling the kingdom, taking power, studying, and really taking significant decisions about her own life and about the whole kingdom. And I think at the very formative age that Elizabeth was when she came into contact with her stepmother, she was lucky to meet a woman of high moral purpose, high spirituality, also passionate and sexual. Elizabeth would have seen that side of her as well. To see a fully rounded woman in power, and you know, that's rare.